Parents and siblings are pranking children into believing that they're invisible. Hilarious or torture? Welcome back to What's Trending. I'm Martine Bierman. Make sure to subscribe for more stories that are gonna make therapists rich for decades to come. In his Netflix series Magic for Humans, Justin Willman does a stunt where he convinces a couple of grown men that they've turned invisible.
Invisible on the count of three. 1, 2, 3.
In order to pull this off, Willman successfully made another person disappear in front of the subject and then had a bunch of actors around to pretend not to see him. And he was convinced.
Yeah, there we go.
And that's great and all, super entertaining, but what happens when you do this kind of thing to a child? Well, people are finding out by doing a similar setup and pranking their unsuspecting young family members.
Take a picture. They sit down next to me. They just get... Oh my god. What the? Oh, what the?
What really sells it is that you take another picture of yourself alone before the picture that you show to the unsuspecting prankee. So now videos are showing up all over social media, and it usually ends with a very scared little kid.
Oh, dude, something just hit me! So did you see that? Something just hit me! Oh my god!
Because when you're a kid, the line between what's real and what's imagination is completely blurred. And that's one of the best parts of being a kid. Vlogger David Dobrik did it and got his entire family to make his little brother feel like he was going insane.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh my god, the papers are moving! Oh my god! Oh my god! Pardon, if you're here, grab this from my hand! Oh!
Fortunately, they filmed the reveal showing the brother that it was all a prank, and he seems to be okay.
Can I tell you something? We saw you the entire time. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Wait, how did you do that?
We took the picture earlier.
That was amazing.
Justin Willman retweeted Dobrik's video and wrote, "I guess it's a thing now. Hashtag Magic for Humans challenge." But some people think the laugh might not be worth the emotional damage it could do to a child. White Wolf M wrote, "Can someone explain to me why making a child violently sob with a prank is funny? This invisible thing going around, all I've seen is kids getting really upset. I can't be the only one that doesn't think a kid crying is funny." And at ChessieNC tweeted, "Okay, but as someone who struggled with getting enough attention as a child, am I the only one that thinks these make your child feel like they've literally turned invisible pranks are like up?" But Michaela Cunningham, who played the trick on her little sister, said she doesn't regret doing it despite her sister's reaction. Yeah, no, duh, because they're sisters, and the whole point of being a sister is inflicting emotional harm on one another. She wrote, "After recovering, she was able to watch the video and laugh at the situation, thought it was funny, and then continued blowing her bubbles. She's not traumatized and quite all right."
Wait for it.
But not everyone's convinced. Jerry Carlson wrote, "This is your proof she's okay? Naive or ignorant? Very sad family. I feel horrible for this girl. For all the people who reposted or laughed at her, this is a child." My problem with these situations with regard to kids is that, yeah, you act like it's all fun and games, but it's obviously a traumatic experience for these little kiddos if they're crying. And when it comes to trauma, sometimes you can't actually tell whether there's been a lasting effect until you've taken some time to see if there's a lasting effect. And you never really know how it's gonna show up in weird ways later on in life. I have a slightly traumatic experience that happened to me as a kid. My sister, I used to sing all the time, I love singing, and I was very comfortable singing in front of everyone, and I was little, and my sister had a friend over and asked if I would perform for her friend, and I was not comfortable doing that. And so she was like, "Okay, don't worry about it. She's gonna go to the bathroom, will you perform for me?" And they asked me to leave the room for a second, and I was, again, little, so I didn't get it. And I came back in, and she's like, "Okay, can you perform for me right now?" And I did, I sang for her, and at the end, she had her friend jump out of the closet and be like, "Haha, I was here the whole time and I heard you." Now, as a little kid, okay, not a huge deal, but for me, I've never really felt comfortable singing in front of my family since. How sad is that? Bottom line is with this situation, the kids trust their families and then their families use them as a laugh, which they then post online for millions of other people to laugh at them too. I think that's kind of sucky. We want to know what you guys think. Is this a harmless prank or something that could scar a kid for their entire life? Let us know in the comments, and for more trends, head to whatstrending.com. Beep! I just want to include in here that my sister and I have a really great relationship and I love you. And, you know, all's in the past.